Fox 5 News at Noon starts right now.
And we have breaking news on that tragic mass shooting this morning in Minneapolis at Annunciation Catholic School. Authorities holding a news conference right now. Let's listen in.
Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified. 17 other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church. Our hearts are broken for the families who have lost their children, for these young lives that are now fighting to recover, and for our entire community that has been so deeply traumatized by this senseless attack. We will stand together to protect our children, our schools, and our houses of worship. This deliberate act of violence is just a sign of cruelty that is beyond comprehension. Our hearts are broken for everyone that's been affected by this tragedy. As we begin the difficult path of healing, I want the community to know this, that even in the face of such evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners stand with our community. We stand with these families and with this parish. We will continue to be here for you. With that, the investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I will attempt to take some questions to provide further information.
Chief, what can you tell us about the suspect in this case? How old was he? Any kind of motivation? Any notes or any other information that were left behind?
So we were looking, the question was, what can be said about the shooter? We believe it is one suspect, a sole shooter. We believe he is deceased. He is in his early 20s, does not have an extensive known criminal history, and we are looking through information left behind to try and determine some type of motive. Yeah.
How many kids attend the school? How many kids at the school?
How many children? I don't have an exact, the question was how many children at the school. There were dozens of children inside the Mass at the time. I don't have an exact count. The children have been relocated into the which is where their families are reunifying with them.
Are there no shooter, other than the weapon?
Reg.
Other than the weapon, was the shooter a student, former student? Was he a former employee? Do we know that?
The question was, do we know if the shooter was a former school employee or a former student? We don't have that information.
Did he leave anything behind other than the weapon?
There's a vehicle. The question was anything left behind? There's a vehicle that we believe that the suspect used that is being searched, and we will be conducting other searches related to this.
Where was it parked?
Inside the parking lot here.
Yep. There was some neighbors who said that the door to the church had been barricaded.
Yep. So the question was, neighbors had said that the door to the church had been barricaded. The shooter approached on one side of the church building, and on that side, at least two doors, it appears there had been like a 2x4 placed. So not all of the doors around the building, but on the side where the shooter did fire.
And on the outside?
On the outside, yes.
Were there any explosives that were found?
The question was there any explosives? There were reports of that. There were no explosives or improvised devices that we found. I do believe there was one, I guess you would call it a smoke bomb, like not an explosive, but a sort of a firework that would release smoke.
And which side of the building? North, south?
The side that is closest to us, here, on this side, yep.
Was this incident related also at these nearby homes?
I don't have specific information on that I can release.
Gunshot wound, the suspect?
The question was, is he dead from a gunshot wound? The answer is yes. We believe he took his own life in the parking lot.
Was this outside or both inside that he was shooting?
The question was he shooting outside and inside? He was absolutely shooting outside of the building on the side of the church, inside through the windows. It appears he may have gone inside, but I don't believe we've located any casings inside the building. So I'm not certain if he fired also while inside. It appears, if not all, most of the shooting happened outside the building.
Chief, is this shooting related to any other shootings that happened in the last 24
So,
hours?
yeah, Taylor's asking, is this related to any of the other shootings? This does not appear to be related to any other shooting in the city.
Do you know approximately how many rounds were fired?
The question was how many rounds? I would say it's in the dozens. We don't have an exact count. There's a sidewalk on the outside as well as a grassy area, so obviously we are going through and taking our time to process the scene.
Was he firing just one weapon, like the rifle? Or...
The question was he firing one weapon? We believe he had fired all three. He had a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Chief, was this individual licensed to conceal and carry? Did he have any?
Were the weapons, was he lawfully carrying the weapons? I don't have that information, and I don't have any information on any significant criminal history either.
Was he dressed at all in any tactical type of gear or anything?
It appeared he had some black clothing on, his cargo-type pants. I guess you could interpret that as, however you like.
All right,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for helping us to get the information out today. We have a lot more
more
work
questions?
that needs to be done. We will return back later today to provide more details as they become available, and we'll let you know how you can know about that in the moments to come. Thank you.
Okay,
How can the public help?
that's it. Thank you.
Once again, folks, if you have further inquiries you want to send...
All right, so that was a live news conference coming out of Minneapolis concerning the shooting that took place this morning at a Catholic school. Details coming out that the shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. 2 children, ages 8 and 10, were killed. 17 others were injured. So as we listened in, so did Eric Perry. He has been following this story since it first happened this morning, and he's live now at the live desk with the very latest on this. Eric, good afternoon.
Paul, good afternoon. It definitely breaks your heart there. We've been listening to the feeds, and in that news conference there, we heard from the mayor, Jason Frey, also from the chief, Brian O'Hara. Again, 17 injured there, 2 children killed, ages 8 and 10 years old. They described the gunmen firing shots from 3 different guns, a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol from outside of that place where they were having mass. Keep in mind there, Paul, and those listening, school just started here in Minneapolis Monday. We are at Wednesday, and this is the Annunciation Catholic Church there. A gunfire erupted around 8:15 during a mass service that was taking place. They say the gunman did die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound there, but again, firing from outside of that worship center, killing 2 children, 8 and 10, 17 others, 14 of those children, 2 critical, taken to the hospital. There is another news conference set outside of the hospital where multiple victims were taken. Right now, here's what we know about the suspect. They have not released a name as of yet, but they did confirm that he is in his 20s. He has a criminal history. He's not connected to any other shootings that have taken place, but they do say that he's known to law enforcement there. Reports of explosives used, but as of right now, they say that they did not find any. Of course, they are working this scene, dozens of shots fired, but really your heart goes out to the families involved in all of this. We watched the feeds earlier, Paul. We saw parents running up to this scene, some of them leaving with their children, and unfortunately, 2 of those parents are not going to be able to be reunited with their child, 8 and 10. Of course, this is a story we'll continue to follow throughout the day, unfolding out of Minneapolis. Again, just one last time, 8-year-old, a 10-year-old killed, 17 others injured, including 14 too critical. We'll continue to follow this on air and online. At the live desk, I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of information, Eric, but still so many questions. Why did this happen, and who exactly was this shooter? So we'll stay tuned and get updates from you. We appreciate the updates for now. Yeah. And meanwhile, new at noon today, Fulton County commissioners have responded to a lawsuit over election board appointments. Last week, Republicans filed a motion asking a judge to hold those commissioners in both civil and criminal contempt over their refusal to seat 2 GOP nominees. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor live now at the Fulton County Courthouse with more on this developing story. Angelique, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Paul. The Fulton County GOP is asking that these commissioners be sanctioned. In this case, that could mean fines or even jail time. They are also asking that their attorney's fees be paid for. And one of the things that the plaintiff's attorney said repeatedly is that these Fulton County commissioners are willfully defying the judge's order. Now, the emergency hearing before Judge David Emerson was a contempt hearing for really all 5 Democratic Fulton County commissioners. 3 of the commissioners were actually in the courtroom. Chairman Rob Pitts is out of the country, and Commissioner Marvin Arrington had surgery, so he is on medical leave. But the GOP, the Fulton GOP, wants Julie Adams as well as Jason Frazier appointed to the Elections Board. But at least 2 of the commissioners called them election deniers and have voted no repeatedly. The GOP is asking the judge to take action against those commissioners. Take a listen.
It is my understanding, then, that the court cannot compel any elected official to vote a certain way without infringing on our constitutional rights. I was elected by the people, and I take my responsibility very seriously. The people elected me and my colleague to stand up for what is right and to stand up for them. And no court, no lawyer, no political party can compel me to vote against the best interests of the people.
Now, during the hearing, the judge indicated commissioners do not have veto power. He says he does not rule from the bench, but a ruling is expected today. So we will continue to follow this very important issue and have the latest for you this afternoon. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Angelique Proctor.
Okay, Angelique, we'll check in with you again this afternoon. Thank you. And new at noon, Atlanta police continue their search for the suspected gunman that shot another man at the Cheetah Lounge. That shooting happened August 1st. Police say a fight broke out inside the club before someone pulled out a gun and shot a 28-year-old in the leg. Medics took the wounded man to the hospital. Authorities have now offered a reward of up to $5,000 for any information that could help lead to an arrest. We'll have more on that and more news coming up right after this break.